So time for Matplotlib tutorial to create bar charts. We're going to, if you go to Curbal Learning Portal and Python, and then you pick the bar charts on the Matplotlib section, we're going to create a simple bar chart. We're going to start with that, even though here is a more complicated bar chart. And the data comes from Makeover Monday 2018, and then you have to go to week 48, and it will take you to Data World. And here is the data set of visualizations that people have done around that data set. So the data set consists on what is the cost of a night out in different cities, and you have board for party night and date night. So we're going to analyze party night, and they measure what the cost was to go into a club, to have a drink, to take a cab, and then plot it. Okay. So the first thing, we need to import pandas and Matplotlib. And then the next thing that we're going to do is to actually read the dataset. I've downloaded it, and I am using the columns city, category, item, and cost. And then I'm filtering by category party night, because we're going to analyze only party night for now. So you can see here on the party night, you have the different activities that you do. For example, here you just see the long drinks on different cities and what the cost is. Beautiful. Now, we're going to pivot the table as people normally do. You can do this without pivoting, but we pivot for now. And we're going to do as follows. So we're going to pivot the table by cost, the values of the cost. We're going to pivot it by city, but let me show you. So here we pivot by city, and then we're going to have the activities on as columns. So one thing that we will want to do is to make sure that the chart is properly sorted. So we're going to create a new column here that will give us the total cost for a night out, for a party, for example, which is the one that we've chosen. So this one is going to give us, you do df sum, and then you say on the columns, and then the name of the column is going to be total cost. That's how you do it in pandas. And then it will give you the cost. You can have it ascending or descending. It's normally ascending, but descending you can just write ascending false. So we are going, I don't mind which way, if it's ascending or descending, just that it is sorted. And we're going to now sort the values. The reason why it fails all the time is because it saves it in memory. So when you redo it, it won't be able to do it. You can obviously give a different name to the data frame, but I believe it puts a lot of things in memory, makes it slow. So I'd rather rerun it than have 1,000 different names when it's not needed. Right. Another thing that we could do is actually do it here together, so don't have a separate step. But yeah, so now we have it sorted. Perfect. So now we're going to define the x and the y, as we always do. So define x and y for the bar chart. So how do you want to do it? We're going to put cities here, and we're going to put the cost and the y. So the city is going to be on the x, so x is going to be df. Remember, when it is pivoted, to grab the values of the pivoted column is df index. And then for the y, we're going to have df, and I'm going to pick just one column. In other videos we will do the stacked, but for now just one. So let's pick taxi, for example. So that will give us the values of the cost of a taxi in the different cities. That's all. And now we're going to start creating the bar chart, basically. So we start with the figure, as always. This sets the color of the background of the Matplotlib. And now the function that creates bar charts is called ax bar. And then we have the x, and then we have the y. And that's it. I mean, it's not difficult. One thing that you probably always want to do with these charts is to be able to add data labels. data labels are super important, especially when the data is small, that you can actually see and understand them. So adding data labels to bar charts is a bit tricky. So let me show you. Once you know it, you know, and then it's not difficult anymore. So we're going to give a name to the actual bar chart figure. And the reason why we're going to do that is because we're going to now loop. Let me show you. So for bar, we're going to call these bars. In bar, we want to pick the height. So for Matplotlib to know where to put the data labels, it needs to know the height of the bar. And in this case, it's very simple because the height of the bar is actually the x, the y coordinate, right? So the y is the x. But when you're stacking things, then things become more complicated. So there is actually a function built in that is called, if I put height, is called bar, which is the variable here, and then you put get height. And this thing will actually give us the height of the bars. Again, in this case, it is the same as the y value, so you could actually just pick y, but for the stack bars, it's very useful because it will give you the y on each bar, so you can stack them. Then there is another one that is the x position. And that one is bar, and then is get x, I believe, yeah. And this will give us the position to the start of the bar. It's so much easier when you see it. Let me show you. So annotate. We went through these in our ARIA chart, but let me quickly go through it again. So to make an annotation, first the label. The label is what we want to put in here, which is the height or the y value. So the height. Then we put the xy value, so where the coordinates for the data label, so where in the x and where in the y, so it's here and there, hopefully. Now for the x, for now we just have x position, and for the y we already have it, which is height. So we're going to run it, and do you see where it places it? That's not where we want it. We normally want it to have in the middle. So to get the middle, you go to width, and then you do bar dot get, you guessed it, width. And then so what get width gives you is the width of the bar. And we just want to have, because the x point starts here, we just want to have half of the width and add it to the x point. So that means that this is plus width and the height. Oh, yeah, divided by 2. Divided by 2, please. So there are some parameters that you can add to fix these. So horizontal alignment, there. And that will move it a little bit there. And then one thing that we want to do is the height, we want to have it a little higher. You could actually have like something in here like plus 0, I don't know, plus 1 too much, 0.5 or 0.3, something like that. Or you can actually do the offset option for the annotate. So it's up to you how you do it. Either way will work. I think the offset is a little bit more clear to read. So we're actually going to, I'm going to show you how that works. There. So I'm going to get rid of that. And yes, you can see that it's been offset, right? So I think it actually makes it easier to read. So that is how you create a bar chart. Now there are other things that you can do. As I showed you on this tutorial, you can have the stack both horizontal or vertical. This is like a small multiples of the bar chart. Everything is in here, so you can go through all the details in case you want to go further into doing bar charts. I will do videos about it later on. So I hope you enjoyed the video.